All right, finally, it's 2A Tuesday. Let's do some gun stuff. Now, gun owners have been saying it for decades. The court said it in 1937. Congress said it again in July. And now Congressman Andrew Clyde, and more than 30 other House members, too, have put it in writing one more time that the National Firearms Act for suppressors and stuff like that cannot be enforced without its tax. Congressman Clyde posting on X, thanks to the one big beautiful bill, the $200 NFA tax that you pay for a suppressor on top of the cost of the suppressor is now zero. But registration requirements remain. Yet it was Congress's clear intent to repeal the NFA, the National Firearms Act, registration by eliminating the taxes. That's why I'm urging the DOJ to adopt our position in its litigation concerning this critical matter. Basically, look, folks, a law that was passed with the intent to tax you cannot exist as regulation if they're not actually taxing you. Folks, let's break in and check out Trump coming out real quick. There he is, doing work. My man just goes. Yeah, that's the Saudi prince. There we go. We got some sound on that thing. It's Ben Solomon going to dinner with President Trump, and Trump works like 19 hours a day. It's actually unbelievable. And there he goes, in the building. All right. The man leading the charge, Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde. All right, sir, look, I am a gun guy. I'm basically a single-issue voter on this, so good on you.
Well, thank you, Carl. Great to be with you on Newsmax.
Yeah, so this whole thing, I get the argument. Makes total sense to me. We shouldn't have been taxing on it in the first place, but here we are. Now there's no tax, but I still have to do all the fingerprints. I use silencer shop, so I do it all digitally. However, every time I buy a suppressor, I still have to go through this massive thing. I got to wait, 20 days, 30 days, 9 months, who knows now. Is there a chance to completely scrap the NFA as a result of this?
Absolutely. When it comes to suppressors and short barrels, the AOWs, et cetera, yes, we should be scrapping the NFA because the National Firearms Act actually is a registration database of the tax paid on the firearm by the serial number of the firearm. When you don't have a tax, there's no foundation for it anymore, so there should be no registry. And that was the entire intent of Congress when we did that. We actually added the elimination of the registry in verbiage in the big beautiful bill, but the Senate parliamentarians stripped it out, all right, saying that, hey, this is policy, but I'm sorry, the two are inseparable. Mm-hmm. You can't have a tax database with no tax.
And, Congressman, I just wanted to say, I heard you correctly. You said AW, which means automatic weapon. Is it really feasible that we could...
No, AOW.
Oh, AOW. I thought you said AW. I was like, oh, man, this is getting exciting, and I was excited there for a minute. All right. I want to get to this, too. This is another thing. It involves firearms. A Michigan man was charged after fatally shooting a teen. I think he shot at another one who broke into his garage, sparking major debates over stand your ground law. Now, look, I sympathize with this. When I lived in Virginia Beach, I had 6 kids break into my house in the middle of the night when I was sleeping, and I had to go to court for excessive force and malicious wounding because I defended my own home in a state that had castle doctrine. What kind of country do we live in if we're being charged for people defending their property for people breaking in?
Hey, Carl, I think castle doctrine is so incredibly important. Your home is your castle, and you should be able to defend it, and defend it with lethal force as necessary, because you have no real idea what perpetrators are doing, what their intent is when they break into your house.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too, is we've lived in such a society. I mean, look at Daniel Penny, protected people, and he was strung out in court hearings and almost spent the rest of his life in prison for unfortunately killing somebody that was attacking people. I mean, this has become such a culture, and people say guns are the bad thing. Guns are the only thing that makes a 90-pound woman equal to a 200-pound mugger.
That's correct. It is the great equalizer, which is why you have within the Second Amendment, its own preservation, which says shall not be infringed. And when you start infringing on the Second Amendment, whether it's by taxation or by registration or by legislation, then there's a problem there. It is no longer an unalienable right that shall not be infringed, which is why we have to protect it and defend it every solitary moment of the day in order for the Second Amendment to continue to protect the First Amendment, which is the strongest and most powerful part of our Constitution.
Right. It's like one of those things, like if you went back in time today and said, hey, write the Second Amendment like you're talking to a liberal 4-year-old. And I don't think they could have made it any clearer. And somehow Democrats still figure out a way to make it rough. Congressman, I appreciate your efforts. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, sir, it really does mean a lot that you stood up for this.
Well, thank you. We're not done yet. We've got more to do. There's more to restore. There's more Second Amendment liberties that we've lost that need to be restored. And so we're going to continue to work on it. So stay tuned.
You're the best, sir. All right.